Song, do 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 do.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Two Pages podcast. We have a theme song now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm your
Do 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 do. Theme song.
I'm your host, Skeletroy Blockbuster, and with me, of course, a cavalcade of storytellers as always. Maeve LaFay. We also have Tom Fireheart. And newcomer Damon. I'm not really sure
What's
what
up?
name you want to go by. When I see the Google Hangout, it'll just say shit.
Yeah. That was my old handle because I used to do stunts and now I do comics. So TacoBeans.com. Yay. But yeah, you can go by Damon. It's totally fine.
And of course we have Grant here, because I mean he's my co-host, so we have to have Grant here.
Everything you do, you're stuck with me.
Contractual obligation.
Hello, man.
Exactly.
When I see a piece of paper and a paycheck, we'll get back to contractual.
Freedom. There's no freedom for Grant.
I've lost that right.
Alright, so yeah, we got some stories to tell. This month was kind of, I wasn't really sure how many people I was even going to get for this episode, so I just kind of went, write about anything. And I posted on Reddit, and we got Damon. So, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I forgot the
It
order.
worked.
I said you guys were going to go in already.
Well, David was last. We know that because
Yes.
he's new. Any volunteers to be the first of the chopping block?
Well, it
Chopping
sounds
block.
like you
You.
just volunteered yourself.
That's how it goes sometimes.
All right. So, did everyone enjoy my last story with Naya and Severin and Aglason?
Dragons, fuck yeah.
Was good.
Good, 'cause I killed them.
Oh,
Oh.
well, the new year is starting out just right with lots of death. All right.
I want to keep up with George R. R. Martin. Is the thing.
I was
Well,
gonna make a
only-
joke like that, but I figured it was too obvious.
So come gather around, viewers, and I'll tell you a tale. Well, the drunk harper plays, and you all drown in ale.
Not a bad way to drown, if you're going to drown.
Nope.
Yeah.
At least it'd be tasty.
No. So I don't like ale. I like stout. I'm a Guinness girl. Fucking love Guinness.
Guinness.
On a bright spring day, all mild and fair, a knight bold strode through the woods on his milky white mare. Yes, the knight bold strode through the wood looking for dragons to slay, and more importantly, for maidens to lay. A gentle damsel in need of rescue was a common occurrence in this fairy tale forest. After rescuing, the maids were so grateful they'd take him into bed. He just prayed he wouldn't fall into the trap his cousin, a prince so charming, did, and be forced to wed.
Oh shit.
Hark! He thought, for the knight had heard a soft sound. He was intrigued, this knight so bold, by the sweet sound of a voice as pure as gold. With a flutter in his heart and a bulge in his trousers, the knight set off in search of this forest flower. He followed the sweet melody into an overgrown bracken with dreams of the maiden that he would be at Mackin. There goes my medieval theme. Just gone.
One word, that's all it takes.
Far past the bracken, he came upon a willow grove. As the knight passed through the fronds, he found a space of beautiful trees and flowers, where in the center stood a tall, phallic tower. Brace yourselves, my lads. and finish your 12th flagon. For what our hero found in the meadow was a great green dragon. The beast reared its head and unfolded its fleshy wings, baring his razor-sharp teeth to guard his mountain of bling. Maids and golds were two things that you could not keep from the knight, and he took off his helm, so his fabulous locks might catch the wind and catch the eye of his maiden fair. The battle drew on, and the knight managed to at least to best the beast, severing its great head. Somehow the knight stood fabulously unmarred, while the beast collapsed dead. Chopping through the brambles and flowers, our knight cut his way to the grey stone tower. The knight dashed up the stairs, but was certain to not mess up his hair. He came
Well, that's important.
It's important. He wants to make a good impression.
If you're gonna get a maiden, you gotta look good.
He came up to the room where he found the maiden. She was bent over her bed, weeping woefully. She looked up at the knight, and he saw white skin, so fair, eyes that shone like emeralds, and flowing fiery hair. Totally not based on me.
Nope.
She was such an elf, he nearly shook himself to see that he was really there. Totally didn't steal that from an Irish folk song. Don't cry, my maid. I've come here to rescue you. His maiden hissed and threw at him a shoe. You have done me no good, you foolish knight. This is a dragon preserve, you fucking gobshite. I don't know if you tell the fronds that make my dress or the pointedness of my ears. But you see this fucking forest? I fucking work here. The knight here laughed, for who could believe such a preposterous tale? My sweet maid, I see you've been spelled, but come with me and have a cup of ale. The maiden jumped to her feet and approached him with fire in her eyes. Leave now, you knight. What you've done's not right. So take your horse and leave tonight. The knight had never been refused by a maiden before, and the knight cried, grabbing the maid, throwing her over his shoulder, and rushing down past the vine-covered boulders. The maiden's harsh cries did harden when she saw the state in which he left her precious garden.
Wait, he just abducted her, and she's more worried about the garden?
Also, elves love their
Carrots.
fucking gardens, okay?
They also probably like not being abducted.
Probably. The promise ends happily.
Yeah, you know, ancient immortality and whatnot, things to kind of preserve.
300 years on that fucking garden.
Bingo.
All I know, carrot cake is amazing, so it's all I found.
Well, reasons to protect the garden.
That night they left the grove, and he swore to wed the strange maiden and raided the treasure trove. He took the maid and he took the gold. That night so bold. As it turns out, forced marriage is not a way to make a maiden stay, for she fled from him on their wedding day. The knight was so distant that he so distraught. I can't even read my own fucking handwriting. So distraught that he chased her until she caught his leg between two stones. Is that when he saw the gold begin to crack, it wasn't gold. The maiden grabbed the dragon eggs. The maid let go the knight's noble steed. Then, on our hero's flesh, she allowed her newborn dragons to feed. So finish your mead and ales, lads, and promise me this, that you will ne'er start a marriage with an abduction, or so help me, dragons will eat your nads. The maiden fair and the knight so bold.
Thomas, it's okay.
I definitely feel like you were more comfortable with that one this time. You were, definitely into it quite a bit differently.
I just love it when dragons eat nads.
I know that was something you could put on a
That
fetish
could
list.
mean
All
something.
right.
Yeah, that could mean something completely different on Tumblr.
The very first T-shirt for two pages podcast is that.
All right, you're head of T-shirt committee.
Okay.
Okay.
I can do
Oh, good story. And that was the first rhyming story we've had on the show.
Dude, that was
stuff.
badass.
Thank you. I try to be badass. I'm the mother of fucking dragons, yo.
Also, I gotta say that Troy's writing has rubbed off on you because there's a lot more fucks in that one.
Many fucks were given.
I'm a bad influence.
We already know this, and I've known that with hanging out with you. So tell me something I don't know.
And yet you're still here.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I just love that bad influences.
I should not laugh while drinking coffee. It's a bad idea.
It's not advisable. Coffee hurts when it goes up the nostrils.
Oh fuck, who needs oxygen?
Well, you're I guess you don't now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say now she doesn't matter, so she can die now, right? I mean, she's free to. Kidding.
Everybody has to
Jeez.
stay alive until the podcast is done.
Fine!
That's
Aw.
the rule.
I'm dying after.
Fine, I guess we can't have any admitted killings on the show. Good point.
All right, so before everybody drops, let's get to Tom's story.
Okay. Funny thing is mine's sex related as well, so it's a decent follow up. Though mine doesn't have any fantasy stuff in it. I guess it's a good thing Chris is in here because I'm pretty sure he'd tune out for this. Not because it's all that gross at all, but it just seems like he'd tune out or something. Anyway.
So what you're saying
this
is jack off warning, right? That's what you're saying.
All my
Well,
stories have
about-
no warning.
Yeah, generally, this is something that I don't think I will ever write a story like this again, like I said in the group, but, who knows, I guess. Maybe I will. But this is Cameron and Shannon's first time.
Ooh.
Okay. Cameron and Shannon are two lovebirds in university who've been together since they were both in high school. Unlike most couples, Cameron and Shannon have this outdated idea in their heads that their virginity was something important, and that they should only lose it to someone they loved. Well, someone they were in love with, though I guess there are people that fall in love with family members, so that clarification doesn't entirely work. Where was I? Ah, yes. Cameron and Shannon were deeply in love, and thus had finally decided to cave into the peer pressure of having sex. Because if you're still a virgin by the time you're in university, apparently you're a prude. The stage was set. Cameron's parents had gone away for the weekend, and Shannon was living in a dorm anyway, so she didn't need parental permission to go to his place. Cameron had bought several condoms of various sizes the week before, just to make sure he had the right size beforehand, and didn't end up with one that was too big or too small. The cashier had given him an odd look, as if they were thinking Cameron was on his way to a gay orgy and been the only one tasked with buying everyone condoms. Cameron had also set up little candles everywhere, making sure that none of them were near anything flammable, as to prevent a possible house fire. This might be a good time to mention that both Cameron and Shannon received no sexual education whatsoever. And no, watching porn doesn't count. They decided not to try some of the stuff they'd seen in porn anyway, as it looked painful and awkward. When Shannon arrived, she went into Cameron's ensuite to prep herself. Oh, I didn't mention that Cameron's parents were well off, didn't I? Oh, I didn't mention Cameron's parents were well off, didn't I? Well, there you go. They weren't entirely rich, but they could afford a big house where everyone had their own bathroom and afford to send Cameron to university without making a huge dent in their budget. Must be because they don't waste money on stupid rich people food. Oh, crap, I'm about to start rambling again, aren't I?
Oh,
Anyway,
started on rich people.
Fucking rich.
Like fish eggs on crackers and shit. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Anyway, when Shannon was finally ready, she slowly opened the ensuite sliding door and attempted to seductively wrap the left side of her body around it, only to lose her footing and force the door all the way open, slamming her head into the door frame. Holy shit, are you alright? Cameron asked. He would have rushed over to her, but when he went to, she'd put her hand up to stop him. I'm fine, Shannon answered. It could have been worse. It only stings a little bit. That's a relief, Cameron sighed. I would try to do a voice for Shannon, by the way, but it'd be too hard to keep up. So anyway. That's a relief, Cameron sighed. Getting her bearings again, Shannon went to seductively walk over to the bed again before stopping and looking at her chest. Ooh, it's hot in here. Hell yeah it is, Cameron replied, trying to sound as suave as possible. Shannon looked up at him, slightly confused. No, I mean it's actually really hot in here, temperature-wise. Oh, I guess I'll turn on the AC then, Cameron replied awkwardly. Shannon remained where she stood as Cameron got up and turned the AC on, only for most of the candles he'd set up earlier to be blown out. Damn it, he yelled. I spent an hour setting all those up too. I don't mind, Shannon replied reassuringly. Just blow the rest out. It's not that dark. Taking her advice, Cameron blew out the remaining candles, only for the combined smoke of all the candles to suddenly make them start having coughing fits. On top of that, Shannon underestimated how dark it would get, as they both had to now feel around in the dark to find the windows. Temporarily turning the AC off, the fan on, and waiting several minutes to make sure all the smoke wafted out the windows, Shannon and Cameron decided to just leave the ensuite open and its window shut and the light on in there, just so they didn't have to wait for their eyes to adjust to the dark. Finally, it looked like they were ready to get down to business. But just as they were finally about to get started, both of their stomachs started rumbling. Sighing heavily, they dragged themselves to the kitchen and had something to eat. Nothing much, just a few sandwiches. Enough to keep their stomachs satisfied until they'd finished in bed.
Just a few sandwiches.
Was it a 6-inch or a foot long?
It's no podcast.
I must admit, that's a joke that that definitely did not come into my mind when writing this.
That's
why
why
I'm here.
I have a group.
Envious now that I didn't think of that. Oh well. Okay, said Cameron. We've eaten. No more candles. We have light, and neither of us are need to go to the bathroom. Let's do this before anything else can go wrong. Shannon frowned. You're making this sound like a job or something now. Cameron tried to hold back a laugh. Well, there are jobs involved. Cameron started to chuckle until he realized Shannon didn't find the joke funny. Okay, let's do this. Or each other. You know what I mean. Giving up on the seductive bullshit, the two decided to get down to business and, figuratively, tore each other's clothes off, with Shannon shoving Cameron down onto his bed. Not giving a shit about foreplay, they went straight for oral sex. Unfortunately for Cameron, it wasn't as pleasant as he'd envisioned. Not having any real idea how to give a proper blowjob, Shannon's teeth ended up slightly biting into his penis. Not enough for it to really hurt at all, but enough to make it awkward and hard to really enjoy, causing him to, start to go soft. Noticing this, Shannon stopped. What's wrong? Well, Cameron said, trying to think of how to explain it. You're using your teeth a bit. I know you don't mean to, but it makes it hard to really enjoy it when it feels like you're going to bite down on my dick. Plus, Cameron continued, you've kind of wrecked the condom and it's the only one of its size I bought. Oh, Shannon replied. Well, I can try again after you give it a try. Cameron looked confused. You want me to suck my own dick? What? Shannon laughed. No, I mean after you give me head, you idiot. Oh, said Cameron, blushing about how dumb he'd just been. Having gotten over the awkwardness, the two switched positions and Cameron attempted to give Shannon head. Being that vaginas and penises are completely different things, Cameron just kind of stared at her for a while before she forced his head into her crotch, telling him what to do. After a short while, Cameron seemed to have it down, leading to Shannon writhing around in pleasure. Unfortunately, she also got him in a sort of triangle choke with her legs, leading to Cameron forcing himself out of the situation and gasping for air. Shannon frowned again. What now? You were choking me, yelled Cameron. It's weird enough having to, put my tongue in there without you trying to force my entire head up your legs. Head up there with your legs. As much as she didn't want to, Shannon burst out laughing, with Cameron being the one to not find something so funny this time around. At first, anyway. He chuckled after a while. When they were finished laughing, Shannon and Cameron switched places again. Okay, said Shannon. Enough of that stuff. Now we're going to get down to some actual fucking. After all, it doesn't really count as sex if there's no penetration. At least that's what people tell me anyway. For those wondering, they were specifically in this situation, Shannon on top, because they'd both agreed that it was probably better for her to have control over the situation for now, just in case it hurt. And boy did it hurt. Cameron doesn't exactly contain Godzilla in his pants, but the fact that his little guy was a decent size, and the fact that they were both virgins, though mostly the fact that Shannon was a virgin, it was going to hurt no matter what they did. Having slid down his entire member, Shannon let out a scream like you wouldn't believe, and not long after, Cameron started screaming as well, pointing at their crotches, which got Shannon screaming even louder. You told me you went on your period, Cameron yelled. I'm not! I know I'm not, Shannon yelled back. What the fuck is going on then? Did I break it? I don't know. Call the hospital then. So that's exactly what Shannon did. Well, after they had a quick shower to clean/wash the blood off anyway. Several minutes later, Shannon came back into the room, a relieved look on her face. So, Cameron started, is everything okay? Shannon chuckled awkwardly. Yeah, everything's fine. Turns out that's a common thing that happens the first time some women get fucked. Cameron sighed heavily and collapsed back onto the bed. Thank God for that, he muttered. There was an awkward silence for a few minutes before Shannon finally spoke up. So, do you want to keep going? Cameron thought about it for a minute before responding. Well, if you want to keep going, then yeah. They decided fucking was basically something they'd try again another day, so for now it was back to oral. Deciding they wanted to get through this as quickly as possible now, Shannon went up on her promise to try giving Cameron a blowjob again. To start with, she had the teeth issue, but it didn't take her long to get the hang of it this time. Unfortunately, they'd forgot about another first-time issue, and it wasn't long before Cameron was close to climaxing. Sure enough, without much warning, Cameron started to climax. As Shannon's mouth started to fill up, she pulled her mouth away. No, don't, Cameron warned, but it was too late. Cameron's body shook again, and he shot a load into Shannon's face. My eye, she screamed. You jizzed in my eye. What the fuck? Ow! I'm sorry, but I did try to warn you, Cameron replied meekly. Here, let me help you. No! I helped myself. And with that, Shannon summoned into the suite to clean herself up. Who agreed not to try anything for a few weeks after that. Oh, and in case you were wondering, yes, Shannon did swallow that load. And that's it.
I was wondering. First of all, I'm suing you for words. Yeah, that's my story.
That idea for a story just came to me like randomly. I don't even.
No, that's cool, man.
I can't even remember how I got the idea, but it was just like, hey, that'd be
Got an
fun.
erection and went, all right about that.
To be
Nah.
fair,
I guess I just thought it'd be funny because, like, I guess, like, the kind of semi-inspiration would have probably been, like, remembering, or at least what kind of reminded me that this could probably work is that one bit in the first American Pie movie where, like, Tyra Reid and the guy she ends up with have, like, the most awkward
Yeah.
first-time sex ever. Or something like that. So I was like, oh yeah, I could just do that, but play it for comedy instead of it just being kind of sad.
And they made so many movies in that franchise that nobody cares if you steal them anymore.
Kind of like Paranormal Activity.
Oh god damn it! Don't even get me started on those fucking movies. Ugh. Ugh.
And that's why I'm the co-host.
Well, why don't we get you started on your story?
But yay, Thomas. What?
Why don't we get you started on your story, Damon?
Oh, my turn?
Yep, it's
Oh,
your turn.
cool. Okay, cool. Sorry. Okay. Meanwhile, in a meat hall in dead fucking Spider Carcass City, Bumdagger. Oh shit, not again, Miss Frownface screamed as she dropped the burrito on her shiny new armor. Now, how the hell am a mechanic going to battle with stained armor? She asked to herself. At that very moment, the burrito stood up with life on the plate and said, "Hello, young warrior." "Fuck off!" Miss Frownface exclaimed. "What?" the burrito asked, confused. Miss Frownface gave a look that stabbed it like a knife at the sentient Mexican dish and said, "There's no goddamn way that a burrito is talking to me right now. The next thing you're going to tell me is that you're magical and going to grant me a wish." "Well, actually, no," Miss Frownface interrupted. "You're not even going to give me a chance," the burrito said with a sniff and snivel. "Oh, well, now, don't be sad," Miss Frownface pleaded. The burrito started to walk towards the bathroom. Just then, a half-bird, half-leprechaun ran across the entire length of the meat hall and forcibly chomped down on the magical burrito. "Ah, what the fuck?" the burrito howled in horror. The Miss Frownface got up and whipped out her lion-tail mace and ran to the scuffle. "Get off that burrito, you fuckface," and took a swing at the little abomination. Crunch! The mace hit the arm of the bird con. "You bitch, do you know who I am? A fever dream?" Miss Frownface replied, satisfied with herself. "No," the Birdicon said in a huff. "I'm the guy that can do this." The Birdicon sang some magic words that went like this. 7 o'clock on the dot, I'm on the drop top, cruising the streets. And the Birdicon started to glow. The Birdicon eye shot lasers and grew 1,000 feet in the air. "Now, how the fuck can I beat that?" Miss Frownface said to the burrito and remembered. "Holy fuck. Burrito, were you serious about granting me a wish?" "Well, yeah, kinda," the burrito said. "I wish that I had the best guitar ever." "Okay," the burrito questioned, but then did the test. "So you're fucking dumb," said the Birdicon. Miss Frownface played one chord that melted everything in 10-mile radius, except for her and the burrito. The end.
I want that guitar.
I enjoy it. Sure that we have stories to add.
Thanks.
Uh,
But yeah,
Fucking burrito.
fantasy fiction fan, this guy.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
Thanks. I mean, it was only half a page, but
It was an awesome half page.
Yarp.
thanks.
All right.
So yeah, sweet.
So, I guess it's my turn.
Oh dear.
Cool.
How many palaces are there in this story?
Can we read this action?
Depends on your choices, really.
Okay.
All right, so this is a continuation of the last story. So if you haven't heard that one, go listen to it. But yeah, all my stories from here on in are choose your own adventure. So I'm gonna give each of you a a choice after I get to it, and we're going to go in the order that I see on my screen. So it's going to be Grant, Damon, Tom, Debbie. All right. All was silent as everyone in Futureton looked at the explosion high above them. You might be thinking, wait, explosions can't occur in space? All nerd-like, which was why I had to read your voice like that. And if you are, we have a problem. I'm only one sentence in, you're potentially already tearing my story apart, and I may have offended you by showing you what you really sound like. Not off to the best start here. Okay. So, the spaceship of Lord Dick, the Dick Lord, had destroyed the Earth's protectorate, Deep Space 69, then created a wormhole, much like the one that appeared before the attack. After a few minutes of space-time foreplay, the Dick ship penetrated the wormhole and they both vanished from sight. Disable the cloaking device, ordered Commander Buzzsaw. Within seconds, Space Station Deep Space 69 reappeared, and everyone in Futureton went back to their business because questioning things wasn't part of their program. Great thinking using the cloaking shields in unison with the hologram of an explosion space projector, Commander Saw, said Lieutenant Spiderman. But how did you know it was going to work? Buzz turned, and then he raised an eyebrow as if to say, Really, Spiderman? He then paused and said, Really, Spiderman? It was a foolproof plan, as you know. But before Saw could explain, there was a hailing frequency. Commander Saw, you're wanted in your quarters. Your grandson called and wants to speak with you about that coffee mug he made for you. He said something about his love for you being attached to it or something. Hopefully that was metaphorical, or else his love is floating in the empty vacuum of space right now. Shit, yelled Buzz. Now I don't have time to explain why I knew my awesome plan was sure to succeed. Computer! The ship made some bleeps and bloops to acknowledge that it was listening. Load exposition, 8, 1. The computer responded, saying, File not found. Damn it! Why the hell did this ship get programmed with Commodore 64 prompts?
I was just going to say that.
Load quotes, exposition, quotes, 8, 1. And then he stormed out of the bridge. Alright, so this is where your first choice is. Do you want to go have Buzzsaw talk to his grandson? Or do you want to go find something else to do? Grant.
Something else to do.
Damon?
See, I think the way you're going to think is like, oh no, I'm going to talk to the grandson. There's going to be less dicks, so talk to the grandson. Hopefully there's more dicks.
Tom!
Talk to the grandson.
I'm also going to say talk to the grandson, and let's see how devastated he is when he realizes his love is going to shatter through space.
Alright.
Yeah, see, I already see where that's going, so... Continue.
Probably some penises.
I'm gonna go with a little bit more than some.
Oh, I don't know about you guys.
You're the one writing the damn story, being all predictable and crap.
We'll see how predictable this is. Buzz went to his quarters and turned on the screen of his communication monitor. He sat down, gulped in nervousness, and responded to the call. Hi, Grandpa, said Hackleberry Saw, an average 10-year-old living in the average town of Explosionville. Hey there, Slugger.
Average as
You're
fuck.
looking sharp today, said Buzz, simultaneously noting Hack's spiffy red hat and striped yellow and black shirt, as well as the wooden baseball bat in his hands. How is my favorite grandsaw? I'm happier now that I see that you're safe, Grandpa, replied Hack. I saw that Deep Space 69 was in trouble while I was watching the news, and I had to call to make sure that you weren't hurt. The news? You're just a 10-year-old boy. You shouldn't be watching that garbage. News programs in the year 20XDX are basically just explosion porn, murder porn, terrorist porn, and porn. That's the other reason I'm calling. The explosion hologram that you made produced an explosion so big and so impressive that every pyromaniac who saw it jizzed in their pants and dropped dead. You're wanted for the murder of 45,000 people.
Only?
Yeah, well, not every pyro who saw the thing died. Or not every pyro saw it, so, you know, there's still some alive.
Okay.
Yay, more arsonists.
Buzz was outraged. What? That's bullshit. I didn't have any other choice. Also, why are people angry about the deaths of thousands of criminals? Grandpa, just because someone gets sexual pleasure from starting fires doesn't make them criminals. Well, maybe not yet, and hey, how do you know about this stuff? The news. Buzz shook his head and grabbed a glass on his desk, drinking a large gulp of water. Grandpa, Hack asked sadly, why aren't you using the mug I made for you? Because, I'm not drinking coffee, Buzz said, thinking as quickly as his rattled mind would allow. But you always use the mug that I made for you. Well, I can't use it right now because it's in the kitchen, being cleaned. Well, then why didn't you say that to begin with? You're not telling me something, Hack said. So, here's the next choice. Would you like Buzz to tell the truth to his grandson, or to make up some lies?
Ooh.
Grant.
I'm okay with the truth.
Damon?
Lies, I guess. I don't know on that one.
Tom?
God, this is actually hard.
Right?
I'll go with lies, I guess.
Oh, they could both potentially be funny. But I want to see him flounder a bit more, so let's have lies.
Alright, Grant, you're losing out this time.
It's okay.
We like penises too much.
He's taking Chris's place.
Somebody has to, maybe.
Okay, so let's continue the charade of lies here. Buzz's monitor flickered for a second, and then he started squirming a bit in his chair, unable to think of a way out of this situation that he'd put himself in. Just then, two mercenaries burst through Buzz's door, shattering the oddly flimsy plastic they used to build the doors for some reason. The mercenaries ran toward Buzz, breaking things as they ran by and tracking space mud everywhere. Before Buzz could react, the mercenaries shot him in the back of the head, splattering blood and gray matter on the monitor. Hackleberry started screaming and crying, and it was the last thing he saw before the mercenaries shot the monitor, interrupting the signal.
Was it jam?
Raspberry.
Yeah, you got
There's only
it.
one man who would dare give me the raspberry.
The two mercenaries took their helmets off. Well, that was easy enough, one said to the other. What do we do now? I don't know, said the other. We'll just wait here, I guess. As they waited, Buzz disappeared, as he, just like the explosion, was a hologram. The real Buzz then walked into the room. Good work. Good work, man. The hundreds of hours we logged into perfecting the timing of that scenario was absolutely perfect. I don't think he even noticed when it happened. The mercenaries, now revealed to be officers working on the space station, both looked at Buzz in shock. Commander Saw, sir, you know that we're always happy to help, but you may have scarred your grandson for life. How so? Buzz asked as he leaned up against a wall. Well, I can only imagine, just because I've never been put in that situation, but I would think that seeing the brains of a family member would be a little traumatic. Buzz replied, Nah, puts hair on your chest. My grandpa did the same thing to me when I was a kid. Difference between then and now is that now we have hologram technology. The end.
Jesus Christ, that's amazing.
Dude, what the fuck?
Oh god.
What the fuck was that?
Honestly, like,
Wait,
this is
Go
stuff
on.
like this that makes me realize just exactly why you're such a South Park fan. That does
But
seem
what I
like
wanna
something
know-
they would do.
but what I want to know is, was that the good ending or the bad ending?
I don't write good endings. There were 4 equally shocking bad endings. But the great thing that I figured out about writing like these choose-your-own-adventure stories
Yeah.
is that the parts that I don't use I can just save for later.
Oh,
So-
that's fucking smart.
Yeah, so I mean 6 months down the road, I might be able to use one of those parts that I didn't use. You never know. And then
just
that
put,
way I'll
like,
be
a
like,
boob in
fuck
it.
yeah, I got my story written in like 20 minutes. I don't know what took you guys so long.
It's like you guys are sitting here waiting for a
Rhyme,
week.
okay? So that's days. Rhyming is hard.
Some of us like to outline and, come up with ideas, and Troy's just like, nope, I'm just gonna throw this shit together.
Well, he does have
You
to
know what?
make up all those dick jokes. That takes
Well, I
time.
just throw everything at the wall and whatever's the most disgusting sticks.
And
So,
There's
was
a
gonna
couple
say,
of
are you-
things
Literally?
on that wall.
are you sure you don't want to go work for Jimmy Fallon?
I wouldn't mind. He has fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun, guys. I enjoyed
Thank you for
everything.
having me on.
And I think we're gonna have the same lineup here next month.
Ooh.
Valentine's
It's not
Day.
Halloween.
Yeah, we're a little off from the next Halloween episode.
Oh, damn.
I think everybody likes Halloween, though.
Well, that's why I like writing about like aliens and monsters and stuff, because then every month is
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My parents met on Halloween. I would not exist if it was not for that holiday.
And you wouldn't exist if it wasn't for a penis.
I don't like thinking about penises in that context. I would imagine many do.
There was a point
No,
where it
but
just...
I'll still write about them.
But yeah, so are we signing off?
Yep. If any of you guys would like to plug anything that you're doing right now, now would be the time.
Yep, okay.
Perfect.
I'll start. Can I start? Can I start?
Go for it.
Go.
Yeah, okay, cool. Please go to tacobeans.com where you can find out hilarious comics and podcasts. Woo! Thank you.
And do you have a Facebook page or anything?
Oh yeah, that terrible comic strip, Facebook. Yep.
Right on. I'll put a link in the description for this as
Oh,
well when
thanks, man.
when I redo the description.
Cool, yeah.
I'm actually going to be having a lot more time on my hands, so I will be. Yeah, and granted, this is not necessarily related to stories, but I will be starting a lot of gameplay as a parent towards. God, I can talk today. Towards like Destiny and whatnot. So feel free to keep your eyes on my channel on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
I'm literally just Grantbeard at YouTube, and you can catch me there.
You've earned a subscriber. My turn?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so I actually have a few new announcements. They're very fun. First one is I and a community of writers have started a grand fellowship called the Fellowship of Fantasy Writers Blog Tour. And you can see links to all the authors that have been guest stars on my blog at talesfromthemists.com. At WordPress.com. And I'll be sending Troy a link so he can put it in the description. Another thing is I started booktubing. I have my own YouTube channel where I review fantasy fiction. Not the podcast, but novels written in the genre of fantasy. So that's just Maeve LaFay, my name. And I also have a Facebook page now where I post all that shit up. Which is, again, just Maeve LaFay. So,
Hell yeah.
So yeah, you'll be able to find all this great stuff in the description below, but my coffee's done, which means that podcast is over. Everybody.
Thank you.